Hey guys, we're working on a Traxxas Stampede. I wanted to show you guys a really cool add-on. It's this heat sink, and the part number is 3822. It's a motor heat sink. And if you look up the part number, it's going to say it's for the boats. And it actually works perfect. There are other heat sinks that are for trucks, but they don't fit with the Millennium setup. Now I'm going to show you that I'm using a Dynamite Taser 4000 kV, and the difference between the Dynamite and the VXL motor is going to be with the wires. The wires go in instead of straight up. So on those motors, you're going to want to take the edge of the fins right here and a grinder and just grind them down just a little bit, just on the edge. You can make it into a cool design. You can paint that little design where you grind it like red or blue or some other color with just a little paintbrush, and it'll look really cool. Otherwise, you can just mark them with a black permanent marker, black, and it'll blend right in. But anyway, in this case, because my wires are straight up and down, I don't have this problem. Now you do have to remove the motor from the case, and the reason is because the wheelie bar and the transmission is in the way of sliding the heatsink on in order to get it into the case. So you're going to have to take the two screws out and remove the motor, and then what you're going to do is you can just come over here and you just pop it on. That's it. Okay, then what you do is you just take the motor and you slide it in. Okay, so I've got the motor in, I've got it bolted down. I did not have to make any modifications to the heatsink, but I do want to show you that it isn't a little tight when you're putting it on. I had centered the heatsink between the wires earlier, and my wires actually lean forward, so it won't be centered in that position. What you really want to do is have it centered on the transfer case between the front and the back. You will see that as you get down lower on the bottom area down here, let's see if I can get a close up, it'll start to get tighter down here. So you have to move this heatsink in the proper position so that it doesn't bind. It also does the same thing in the very front up here. So I wanted to show you guys, it can play a little tricky on you when you get it on. Once it's on, it's no big deal, but I wanted to show you guys that you can take, once you get it on, you can take a flathead screwdriver, you can just take it and you can slide it. Here's this direction, sliding back, and it stops right there, it binds. I can go forward, it stops right there and it binds. So you just want to try to center it. That way you can have some movement of your motor, and if you need to move your motor more, you'll just rotate the heatsink so you get it in the location you need it to be in. But again, it is completely in. The bolts are not completely tightened down yet because I haven't adjusted my play, but there we go. And you can see that the lower bolt there moves, and I've just moved that tighter. And so you'll be able to adjust that, and the heatsink has no binding as long as you are careful and you just line it up right. So anyway, that's what it looks like when it's installed. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's tight, but it's not binding, and it's not an issue. You don't have to do any modifications to it in this case if you're using the Dynamite motor. Alright, cool.